First witness on the stand is the defendant's former friend. Her name is Kayla Bousquette, and she did a lot of texting back and forth with Megan, and I think she might be able to provide some information. Let's get into the courtroom for her direct examination.
Ma'am, before you be seated, stand. Can you raise your right hand to be sworn?
Yes. Under penalty of perjury, you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you're about to give before this court today is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes.
Thank you. And ma'am, state your name for the record, please.
Kayla Bousquette.
Thank you. You may be seated.
Good afternoon.
Hi.
Can you state and spell your name for the record, please?
Kayla Renee Bousquette, K-A-Y-L-A-B-O-U-S-Q-U-E-T-T-E.
Thank you. Do you know someone named Konrad Imirowicz?
Yeah.
Do you know someone named Megan Imirowicz?
Yes.
Do you see Megan Imirowicz in court today?
Yes.
Can you please point to her and advise on what she's wearing for us?
The blouse. Wait. Under her blouse.
Judge, I'd ask the record to reflect the witness identify the defendant.
Mr. Miller?
That's fine, no objection.
So noted.
Thank you. And how do you know Ms. Imirowicz?
We used to be friends.
All right. You said used to be friends.
Yeah.
How long were you friends?
For about 4 or 5 years.
4 or 5 years?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you go to the same school?
Yes.
Did you live near?
Yes.
And in what town do you live?
Ortonville, or Groveland.
And that's in Oakland County, Michigan?
Yeah.
All right. How far away from her house did you live?
About 5 minutes walking, a minute or two driving.
Okay, 5 minutes walking, a minute or two driving. And did you know her family well?
Yes.
All right, so you knew Konrad Imirowicz?
Yes.
Did you know Austin Imirowicz?
Yes.
What was your relationship with Austin Imirowicz?
We were friends.
Okay. I want to take you to October 1st, 2021. Were you still friends with Kayla, or with Megan then?
Yes.
All right. And how old were you at that time?
I was 17.
You were 17 years old?
Yes.
All right. Did Megan contact you that day?
Yes.
When was that?
It was started at 10 in the morning. She sent me a Snapchat photo of her crying, and I asked her what was wrong. And then she said that her dad got drunk, and she got upset, and she threw stuff at him.
Okay, so she sent you Snapchat, right?
Yeah.
Tell us about Snapchat. How does it work?
You send a photo to someone, like you add them as a friend, and then you send a photo to someone, and it deletes after you send it, or you can hold it down, but it'll replay it one time. There's a new feature where you can save it in the chat too as well, but I didn't. Or I don't remember if I did or not, I'm sorry.
Okay, that's all right. So you said you got a photo of her crying?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you talked to her then?
Yeah.
Okay, how did you converse with her?
I said that, you know, what's wrong?
Well, let me ask you, did you send her a message?
Oh yeah, I texted her on Snapchat.
Okay, and you said what's wrong?
Yeah.
And then she said what?
She said that her dad got drunk and that he didn't care because she had stuff to do today and she threw stuff at him.
Okay. Do you know what was special about that day?
It was her birthday.
Okay. She was supposed to have a party that night, is that right?
Yeah.
All right. So she was crying in that photo?
Yeah.
All right. Did she contact you again?
Yes.
When was that?
A few hours later, she asked me to drive her to her party.
Okay.
Or the hotel.
Did you go and pick her up then?
No.
Okay, why not?
I was in school and I didn't respond for a while, and then I said yes, and then she told me that she was going to get a ride from someone else.
Okay, so you weren't going to have to go pick her up?
No.
And then she contacted you again, right?
Yes.
When was that?
That was around 3:47 in the afternoon she called me.
Okay. And you talked to her on the phone then?
Yes.
How did she seem?
I don't know. Just normal.
Okay.
Pretty much.
She wasn't crying then, right?
No.
All right. So this was 3:47 on October 1st.
Yes.
What did she ask you to do?
She asked me to go over to the house and get the credit card information from her dad because it wasn't working when she was at the hotel.
Okay. So she was already at the hotel, to your understanding?
Yes.
All right. And the credit card was not working?
Yeah.
What did you do?
So I went over to the house.
All right. Did you ask her any questions about that?
No.
Okay. Were you about to leave anyway?
I was going to go to the hotel, so it was just going to stop by and then go.
All right. Now, you said you lived about 1 or 2 minutes away driving.
Yeah.
Did you drive or did you walk?
I drove.
Okay. Did you leave right away?
I took a few minutes to eat something and then...
Okay, and then you left.
Yeah.
So do you have an idea about what time you got to Konrad Imirowicz's house?
I don't.
Okay. Was it still afternoon?
Yes.
All right.
It was just a few minutes after.
Understood. And when you got there, what did you do?
I walked in.
All right. Was the door locked?
No.
All right. Is that common?
Yeah, I just used to always walk in the door.
And you said you've known this family for a while, right?
Yeah.
All right. You've been over the house many times.
Yeah.
The house was pretty messy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
In fact, it was, let's describe it as dirty.
Yeah.
And gross. Okay. So the condition of the home was not a surprise to you when you walked in?
No.
All right. When you walk in the house, the front door, is that where you went in?
Yes.
When you walk in the front door of the home, tell us what it looks like.
It's like you walk in and there's a little stand, and then to the left it's downstairs, and to the right it's upstairs.
Okay, so it's like a split level home.
Yeah.
All right, so you walk in, you're on this landing of the stairway, is that right?
Yeah.
And then where did you go?
I went upstairs
Why'd you go upstairs?
because that's where Konrad is normally always like on the couch.
Okay. Where is the couch in relation to the stairwell?
It's if you go up the stairs to the left is the living room, and then it's against the wall with the big window.
All right. So there's a big window behind that couch.
Yeah.
Where was Konrad when you went in?
He was sitting on the couch.
He was on the couch?
Yes.
Judge, may I approach the witness?
Yes.
Judge, I'm showing the witness what I previously marked as People's Proposed Exhibits 1 and 2. Do you recognize those?
Yes.
What are they?
That's the couch, the blanket, a pillow.
Is this the couch that Konrad was on?
I believe so.
Okay. Is this fair and accurate?
Yeah.
Judge, I'd move to admit People's Proposed Exhibits 1 and 2.
No objection.
So admitted?
And then if I can use the screen.
Yes.
Going over it. Thank you.
All right, we'll stop talking when they resume talking, Michael. We're not sure what's happened with the sound or what they're doing, but here's the reality. A young-sounding young lady, a friend, probably about 18, age of the defendant, asked to go by the house. She goes by the house to grab a credit card.
It looks like they've begun again. Let's get back to the courtroom.
Is that a yes?
Yeah.
Sorry, just for the sake of
Yes.
the record there. Thank you. Where was Konrad on the couch?
He was, when you walked in, he was more towards the left of this couch.
So he was on this side of the
Yes.
couch? All right, so you're looking at him and he's more on the left side of the couch.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about how he was on the couch?
He was kind of leaned. I don't remember which way he was leaned, but he had like one leg crossed over the other. He wasn't clothed, but there was a blanket across his torso.
Okay, so he was naked.
Yeah.
All right. And you said he had one leg across the other. Do you recall
Yeah.
which leg was across which leg?
I don't.
Okay. Was he awake?
Yes.
All right. When you came in, did you say anything to him?
I walked up the stairs and he said hello, and I said hello, because at first we didn't see each other because I was walking up the stairs.
Okay, so did he say hello when you opened the door, kind of
Yeah.
thing? Okay. When you got up the stairs, you saw him on the couch. How did he look?
He looked very bad. He looked very out of it. I didn't know what it was at the time, but it was like burns or blood or bruises or something on him.
Could you see that from where you were?
Yeah.
All right, so how far away were you on the couch when you first saw him?
About from me right here to like the desk right there.
Okay, to the table?
Yeah.
8, 10 feet, 8 feet.
Judge, we're going to stipulate to be 8 to 10 feet.
Stipulated?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you.
Does that sound accurate?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're not too far away?
No.
Okay. Where did you see the burns on him from where you were?
It looked like it was on his head, on his chest, on his hands, on his stomach. His legs looked very green.
Okay. You said green?
Yeah.
All right. How did that make you feel when you saw him that way?
Very ill. I started to panic because I had never seen anyone in a state like that before.
Did you know what had happened at that point?
No.
Okay. Did you say anything to him when you saw him that way?
Yeah, I said, "What's wrong?" And then he told me his hand hurt, and then that's when he reached it out, and all 5 of his fingertips were that red-purple color, and his fingernails had curled up.
Okay, his fingernails were actually curled back?
Yeah.
Okay. What were you thinking at this point?
I was like, I had no idea what had happened.
Okay. Were you scared?
Yeah.
Okay. You knew Mr. Imirowicz pretty well, right?
Yeah.
All right. You've been around him a lot?
Yeah.
Did you care about him?
Yeah.
Okay, so you were scared for him.
Yeah.
Okay. What did you do then?
At that time, he asked me to look for his phone, and so he pointed to like the desk table area, like next to the couch, and so I tried to look for the phone, but I couldn't find it, and then I got a call from Megan.
Okay, so Megan called you at this point?
Yeah.
All right. How long had it been since you talked to her last?
Like, maybe 10 or 20 minutes. It was like the last time was when I was about to leave my house.
Okay.
All right, we're going to step aside, take a break. When we come back, we're going to hear all about that really important second call from Megan to Kayla to hear what she had to say. So keep it right here on Court TV, your front row seat to justice.
Tonight on Closing Arguments, a Utah widow who wrote a children's book on grief is charged with her husband's murder. Court TV teams are on the ground with the latest from today's hearing. Plus, a Michigan teenager accused of killing her father by dousing him with drain cleaner and lye. We'll bring in experts to break down today's opening statements as this trial gets underway.
Closing Arguments with Vinny Politan, tonight at 8/7 Central, only on Court TV.
Welcome back to Court TV Live. Michael Ayala, Judge Ashley Wilcott. A jury has been seated in our newest live trial, the sleeping father death trial out of Michigan. Megan Imirowicz is accused of throwing lye and water on her dad in 2021, causing severe burns and ultimately his death 5 months later.
Let's take you back into court. The jury is hearing right now from the defendant's former friend, Kayla Bousquette, and just know she sounds a lot younger than I think she is. She's probably 18 at the time.
No, 17 at the time. I think she's 18 now.
Right,
Yes.
so let's take you back into court. You haven't missed any of the testimony.
No.
What happened?
Because she asked me for the credit card number, because like that's what she wanted. And so he started saying the credit card numbers, and she said that they weren't working, and then she hung up.
Okay, so had you been able to speak to her at all, really?
Not really.
Okay, so you weren't able to tell her what happened to her dad at that point?
Not really. I didn't know what to say at the moment.
Okay. After she hung up with you, what happened?
I told him I would be right back. I stepped outside the house, and I started to like panic because, you know, I didn't know what to do. So I called my mom, and I told her what had happened. And then Megan had called me, and then that's when I told her something's wrong.
So let's stop for a second. You're outside, you're talking to your mom.
Yeah.
And then Megan calls again.
Yes.
And you pick up the phone.
Yes.
What did you tell her?
I said, Megan, something's wrong with your dad.
And what did she say?
She says, oh, he's just drunk, and then laughs.
She laughed?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you tell her anything else?
I was like, no, something is wrong.
And then what?
She told me to call Austin.
She said call Austin.
Yeah.
And who was Austin?
Her brother.
Okay. And what happened after she told you to call Austin?
I called Austin.
Did she hang up? Did you hang up?
I don't remember.
You don't call. Okay. So you called Austin then?
Yeah.
And what did you tell Austin?
I told him that something was wrong with his dad, and he told me to call 911.
Is that what you did?
Yeah.
Okay. So you called 911 then?
Yes.
And what happened next?
That's when I was pacing up and down like the driveway because I didn't know what to do, you know, with the 911 operator until the EMTs showed up.
Okay. So the EMTs showed up.
Yeah.
Do you recall about how long that was?
It seemed like a while, maybe 15 minutes.
All right. And when they got there, what happened?
They asked me to move my car so the fire truck could fit in the driveway. And then they were asking me about the state of the house and if Konrad had any allergies to any medication. And I said I didn't know, I was just the neighbor.
Sure. And did they go inside?
Yes.
Did you go inside with them?
No.
All right. Did you see them bring Konrad out?
Yes.
When he came out, was he saying anything?
I don't remember.
Okay. Do you recall if he talked to you in Polish?
Yeah.
Does he know Polish?
Yeah, I remember a while ago he told me that him and his mom would speak Polish and English to each other and just switch off.
All right. Do you speak Polish?
No.
Okay. Did you know what he was saying to you?
No.
Okay. Did you say anything to him when he came out?
No, I was far away.
Okay. What happened then? Did they put him in the ambulance?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
Where did you go?
I went to the hospital with Lucas, Bella, and Austin.
Okay. So did Austin arrive at some point?
Yes.
And he came with other people?
Yes.
All right. Did you drive with them to the hospital?
Yes.
Which hospital did you go to? Do you recall?
I think it was it starts with a G. It was though.
Was it Genesis Ascension?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's all right. Is that the hospital you went to?
Yeah.
When did you get there?
I'm not sure. We took off right when the ambulance did.
Okay, so you didn't stay at the house or anything?
No.
When you were at the hospital, how long were you there?
I felt like a few hours because we had to go get food and stuff. It had gotten dark.
All right, so it was already dark and stuff now,
Yeah.
so you were there for a while.
Yeah.
Did you talk to Megan again?
Yeah, she called me when we were at the hospital, and so I answered. And I told her we were at the hospital, and she hung up on me.
Okay. Did you tell her why you were at the hospital?
No,
Okay. Did she say anything to you when she called?
I don't remember.
Okay. Did you say anything to her?
I told her that we were at the hospital and your dad's in the hospital.
Okay, so you told her dad was in the hospital.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry, just what you remember. Okay. So you told her your dad was at the hospital and then she hung up.
Yeah.
You don't recall if she said anything to you?
No, she didn't say anything.
Okay, she didn't say
Just
anything.
hung up.
All right. Did you go back to the house at any point?
I had to go get my car.
Okay, so when did you do that?
My dad drove me to the house. I got my car and then I left.
Was that the same day?
Yes.
All right. Did you ever go back to the house after that?
No.
Did anyone ask you to go back to the house?
Yes.
Who asked you to go back to the house?
This guy named Konrad, or not Connor, I'm sorry.
Connor. Okay.
Connor.
Who was Connor?
It was Megan's ex-boyfriend, friend type of thing.
What did he ask you to do?
He asked me to go get her phone from her bed.
Okay. Did he tell you why he wanted you to do that?
No.
Did you do that?
No.
Okay. You never went back to the house after that?
No.
Did you ever talk to Konrad Imirowicz again?
I did after he got out of the hospital, like back in February, March.
It's like when he came home.
Yeah.
That was right before he died, right?
Yes.
Okay. One second, George. I don't have anything else, Your Honor.
Thank you. Mr. Miller, sir?
Thank you. You said you were friends with Megan and Austin and Mr. Imirowicz, correct?
Yes.
You'd known them for several years?
Yes.
Okay. You ever been to the house before this?
Yes.
And the house was, looked in pretty bad shape with stuff all over the place.
Yes.
All right. Is that the way it was before this?
Yeah.
So the house was always pretty messy.
For as long as I've known, yes.
Okay. And that's 4 or 5 years?
Yeah.
All right. On the day Megan called you at, what, 10 o'clock in the morning?
No, she sent me a Snapchat of her crying at 10 in the morning. She called me around 3:47.
All right. So she sent you the Snapchat
Yeah.
at 10.
Yeah.
Did you talk to her on the phone that time?
No. I just texted her. I didn't call her.
So it was just a text?
Yeah.
Did she text you back?
Yeah.
Do you remember what she said, if anything?
She said that she threw stuff at her dad because she got upset.
Okay. And that's it?
And then a while ago, like a few hours after that, she asked me for a ride to the hotel.
All right. So sometime after that, she asked you for a ride to the hotel?
Yeah.
Do you remember what time that was?
It was probably around 1-ish. I was still in school, but it had been a few hours after.
Okay. All right. And you talked to Mr. Imirowicz, Konrad, before, correct?
Yeah.
How often did you see him?
Almost every time I went over to the house.
And how often was that?
A lot. Maybe once a week.
Did he have a drinking problem?
I know he drank a lot, but
I'm
I
sorry.
know he drank a lot, but I don't know if he had a problem or not.
You know he was a heavy drinker then, correct?
Yeah.
All right. Had you seen him drunk before?
I believe so. I'm not sure.
Okay. All right, that's understandable. Okay, so around 1 o'clock on that date, we're
Yeah.
trying to gather in, did you get a call or a text from Megan?
A text.
All right, and that was talking about picking her up?
Yeah, she asked me to come take her to the hotel.
All right. Did you ever respond to that text?
A while after I said yes. And then she said she was going to get someone else to take her.
All right, so you got a text at some point, you were in school.
Yeah.
A couple hours later, you responded to it?
Yeah.
Okay. And then she responded that she got somebody else to cover it,
Yeah.
correct?
Yes.
All right. So you arrived at the house on that fateful day. You walked in, you started up the stairs, correct?
Yes.
Did you said hello to Konrad first going up the stairs?
Yeah.
And he responded?
He said hello, and then I responded with hello.
Okay, so you walked in, you heard the door open, and he said hello,
Yeah.
correct? You walk up the stairs, you said hello, correct?
Yeah.
All right. You get up the stairs, and you observe him.
Yeah.
Kind of a shocking situation, wasn't it?
Yes.
Not fun at all. All right. Do you remember what you said to him?
I said, what was wrong?
And
I said, what's wrong?
What was his response?
He said my hand hurt, and then put his hand out.
All right. His hand looked pretty bad, didn't it?
Yes.
Okay. He didn't have any clothes on, correct?
No.
Was he lying down or sitting up?
He was sitting up, but leaning to his side.
Okay, and he had a blanket on.
Yes.
All right. You were kind of in shock, right?
Yeah.
You asked him, should I call somebody?
No.
What did you do?
I started looking for his phone because he asked me to look for his phone.
And you didn't find it.
No.
You called Megan back at some point?
She called me.
Okay. You didn't tell her dad was in bad shape at that point, the first time?
No.
All right. You went outside then?
Yeah. After he had given, like, the credit card numbers.
Okay. You called your mom?
Yeah.
And then you called Austin?
No, Megan called me after I called my mom.
And then you called Austin?
Yeah.
And then you waited for the ambulance to show up?
Yes.
Okay. And you never went back in the house then, did you?
No.
You saw Mr. Imirowicz then just prior to his death?
A few days before.
Did you talk to him at all?
Yeah.
Nothing further, thank you.
All right, let's bring in our guest here, still with us, criminal defense attorney Josh Schiffer. Jack's having some technical issues. We'll get him back, excuse me, as soon as we can. Josh, you know, I know you well. I know what you like about the justice system. It's very similar to what we like about it. You get a simple case like this. You hear it's just involving two people. A young lady gets mad at her father, throws something at him. You know, that thing ends up killing him down the road. When you start getting into the testimony, you realize how many things you need to know as a juror, and we all sit here as jurors, to really figure out what happened here. And that's what trials are all about. And that's what I'm getting from the testimony. It's like each little bit of testimony says, I have to know more about that phone call. I want to know more about that conversation. I want to know where the bottle was. I want to know what was on the bottle. I want to know what she was thinking. There's all these different questions that continue to arise out of a very simple set of facts.
Yeah, the best lawyers make movies. They make plays. They make dramas. They are better than any director because the best lawyers transport jurors and observers to a different time and a different place. And when you see the real masterful litigators, you don't even have to close your eyes to see what they're talking about. And the details matter. This right now looks really straightforward, but as we've been talking about offline and in researching this case, there's such another story out there that we don't know yet, and hopefully the defense is going to paint that. At least they need to if there's any chance of this young woman escaping criminal culpability from some facts that look pretty straightforward. I love the drinking angle. I love the fact that they're getting into these lifestyle issues. It gives people the ability to understand.
Well, and I want to ask about that. Some of the things the defense is getting into on cross-examination. The fact that the house is pretty messy. He wasn't wearing any clothes. He's a heavy drinker. What would you do with those facts to form some kind of defense that may win the day for an acquittal at the end of the day?
Yeah, and one of the big questions is going to be, is this a defense or is this a trial for the sentencing? Looking at the actual felony code, the judge gets extraordinary discretion when a death has been caused with facts and under this particular code section. And if you're gonna get smoked by the jury, if you're gonna get convicted on the facts, sometimes it's a really good idea to preload the judge with your mitigation in advance. And we didn't see a big punch defense come out in the open. And we're certainly not seeing an aggressive cross by the defense right now. So I really feel that while there's gonna be a straightforward, it wasn't me, I didn't do it, he needed killing kind of thing coming forward, I really feel by painting all of these details so efficiently, the defense is gonna be able to make a much stronger sentencing request at the end with kind of that, hey, I did it, but let me explain that clients are always trying to get out into court.
And I would imagine, Josh, going back to Judge Ashley's question regarding the messy house, that's going to go to the argument that she grabbed something in a messy house, really wasn't sure what it was, and you get all these phone calls, and she's not particularly concerned about her dad. Now, that could mean she's just this really callous person, or she's thinking, I just threw some water or some liquid on my dad just to let him know how I felt. She's an 18 or 17-year-old who's getting her 18th birthday messed up. You guys have daughters, you know how that can be. And that, not that she didn't care, but that she didn't think anything serious had happened in that house.
Absolutely, and it could be that, hey, this was just a regular thing. No harm, no thought went into it. It is careless. And there's been this horrible tragedy since then. But that's why we talk so much about intent. That may be how and why the state decided to charge this particular code section, because the lack of intent-specific wording in the actual code section. It's just this misuse of a substance that then causes the death. It doesn't have any of the things we see, and I know our courties are key on this language, the predisposition, the working and the planning before this malice portion. No, I don't think that was really there. I think there's a lot of space for, yeah, my dad, he was kind of a drunk, he was a slob, he was a mess. Well, it was just a crazy lifestyle. It seems like everybody's kind of familiar with the behavior this guy exhibited. And that allows an angle for, hey, I'm not criminally culpable, or if I am, the sentence should be really minimal. And given the age, that's a pretty good argument sometimes.
Yeah, she is young for sure.